Ork boys are so cheap.
Ridiculous.
Like 6 points a model for what you get. They're really good. Like really good points to effectiveness.
But I guess, you know, they make up for that, seeing as they don't really have any armor saves. But, you know, they still have a 6+. You still have that slight chance.
But most things they're shooting you with are going to null it. But again, this kind of ties back to the big mech.
You have numbers to them too, right? Like
Yeah. I mean, if you've seen any of our videos, you've seen this time and time again that, like, yeah, they'll shoot at our mobs of boys, but not enough. And then they get into combat, they shoot them, and then the Orks end up winning overall. But just the fact that we have really cheap troop choices, especially, like, it makes me want to take, and I do often take 3 or maybe even 4 troop choices in a small, like, 1,000-point game. Because, like, A, it's good for objectives, and B, they're effective overall, I think. Here's where Adam and I don't necessarily argue, but we run them a bit differently. Adam is a big fan of Slug and Choppa Boys, which I absolutely agree with. Like, Orks are a combat army, so it makes sense to
and you just get the 4 attacks on the charge, and just it's just wonderful. You just plow through things like it's nothing.
Yeah. Whereas in my videos, I've always said that I like playing a shooty Ork army, so of course I end up going with Shooter Boys, which are also effective, we've noticed. Like 2 shots each on boys.
And that's the thing, like when you were first going into it, you were questioning how well it would go. You thought you were going to get blown away.
Yeah,
but
I almost started the army as a joke army, because I'm like, oh, Ork shooting, like, yeah, they can do it, but they're terrible at it. It's actually really good. Like, of course, the dice sort of fail me sometimes. Sometimes I just don't roll well.
The thing is, if you have like a big number, like how many do we normally run in your squad? Like around,
I don't know, 20 or so,
close to
probably.
20.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're using shooters that get 2 shots each. So that's about 40 shots that you're going at.
Yeah, if I can hit with all, and even if I only get 20 shots, let's say it's something if I only get 20 shots, I still hit and wound with enough of them that the shooting is effective. Even outside of just regular shooter boys, with things like Ludas, with things like flash kits that I've run before, and
those flash kits.
Also the bikes, the twin-linked DACA guns, and the Coptas twin-linked big shooters. Like that, you get a lot of fairly effective shooting. Like, for all that you're only hitting on 5 and 6, there's enough of it that it ends up being effective overall.
But
having a high volume of shooting is always a good thing, and it's something that Orks can get a lot of.
And those big looters definitely help out.
Yeah, and anytime you can get it, having twin linked is key to Ork shooting. That's why.
The way to go.
That's what makes the bikes so effective at shooting. Like, I don't use bikes that often, and I've killed a fair amount through bike shooting. Adam has used the bikes a lot. And has seen the bike shooting extremely effective, taking out light vehicles, taking out entire squads of people just through shooting. I mean, 3 shots each twin linked, like.
And it's true. I usually go into the game thinking I'm just rushing them up and going to start mailing them down with my bikes, but truthfully, I can take them out before I even get up to them. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. And same with me and my Def Copters. Sometimes they fail me, even with reroll, but still having twin linked is great for Orks. Buzzsaws like Power Claws on Coptas are great. This is a strategy that you see almost every single game I play. You've seen it with Adam a couple times too. Having your Coptas make their scout move across the field, and then if you get the first turn, the Copters are able to assault something, and then almost just like either tie up,
just run right through it. Like it's nothing.
Especially vehicles. If you get the first turn and you're able to charge a vehicle in your first turn, that vehicle counts as being immobilized. Not immobilized, but since it hasn't moved, all your hits automatically attack, and like 4 automatic Power Claw hits, chances are you are going to wreck that thing, whatever it is. It's an awesome strategy. I would suggest doing it almost every time.
I'm actually very surprised with the Copters.
It's something that outside of us playing, I haven't really heard a lot of. I don't hear a lot of people talk about the Copters.
You don't hear a lot of the Copters, but the thing is, they're actually very good, especially with that scout movement. It's ridiculous. Like, you just cross that field like, hey, what's up? I'm just going to destroy you, and now I have the advantage because I just took out one of your, I don't know, troops or one of your big vehicles that was going to be a problem later on. Especially,
I mean, for their points cost, too, they're really good. Like, they come base with a twin-link shooter. They're 2 wounds each. They have 5 toughness.
Have you ever equipped them with the rocket launchers?
I run the rocket launchers sometimes. Yeah. The fact that it's twin linked, I feel better about taking it, and they end up being okay. Like I'll try to get behind a vehicle to try and shoot them, just because like those chances when I do hit with the twin linked rocket launchers, I want it to really matter.
So you hit them in the back where it's going to count.
Yeah, it's a big choice, or it's a good choice, and I think when we maybe get to playing tournament games, it's going to be something that's going to become a lot more important, especially with heavily mechanized lists being so popular in the game. For all that we've just been praising high amounts of shooting and how effective orcs can be,
praising orcs because
I have felt the sting of failing at shooting before a lot too. And this one, it comes into the fact that if you can get flamer templates where you don't need to worry about rolling to hit,
it's just
do it almost every time. It's a part of what makes the Burnas, a unit full of flamethrower guys, so effective.
And actually, yeah, like when we were first getting back into the game, we were sitting there, and I remember you always talking about, it's like, oh man, I always want burners, but they just don't seem good. Like they just seem like they'd be pointless, but I just want them because they seem really good. And I'm like, well, you know, maybe I'll try them out or something like that. But then we found out after a while, it's like, they will get the job done.
Absolutely. Like,
if you can get them up there, of course.
Yeah, I mean, they're only strength 4, AP 5, so they're going to be better off against, obviously, kind of like Eldari or Tyranid type lists where they don't get the armor saves. But even against Marines, I can see them being effective. If you have a lot of them and you get that high volume of Flamer templates, they're going to fail their saves eventually. And without needing to roll the hit, it means you get all these, not necessarily automatic wounds, but automatic hits. And I think overall they would end up being great, especially if they're in something as mobile as a battle wagon. Even being able to take combi scorches,
which I have yet to take. Like combi weapons, I've always been questionable about combi weapons because it's just more points for one shot.
And I find with the one shot, for me anyway, I'm always kind of hesitant about using it. I'm always like, do I really need it right now? But
it's one of those in a dire situation.
Yeah.
I need to deal with this.
Yeah, whereas I think that is not a good mindset to go into. Like, if you're going to take it, be liberal with using it. Like, I don't mean just throw it away, but know you have it and don't be afraid to use it if a good opportunity comes up.
Because what happens if, like, the guy who has it gets killed off, and you're like...
Then you're like, oh, well, not only did I lose the however many points for the model, but an extra 5 or 10 for the combi weapon.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's better to use it than to have it go to waste, you know. Alright, so I think we're just about to cut it there for the discussion on Orks today. We've had a lengthy talk, and that is really just is the tip of the tactics when it comes to playing Orks. We just talked about what we know so far. There's still tons in the book to go over and tons of strategies that we probably hadn't even thought of before. So we'll definitely be coming back to the subject, but for today and for now, that is going to be it.
We'll call it quits for there. Save more deliciousness for later on.
Save more delicious orcs for later, I guess. I guess so. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys in Roll to Win episode 9, which should be coming up next week. See you there.